When I want to know something, the best place to get correct answers is from Reddit threads. So today, I'm checking some AskReddit threads to know about intelligence to the worst people on earth. The first Reddit thread: what's a moment where you instantly realized someone was insanely intelligent? The first answer is a professor answered a question with "I don't know," and then spent the next 10 minutes explaining exactly how he'd figured it out from first principles. That's when I realized real intelligence isn't memorizing everything, it's knowing how to think through the unknown. This is a very interesting answer because whenever you try to solve an issue, you have to rely on having to find out the answer. So it's not everything scripted. We have to think out of the box and find a resolution to the problem by using clues or by using any other resources we have at hand. It's usually about extracting the information, right? Not every answer is handed to us. For example, at work, we might need to find a solution to something that we haven't worked with before. So we need to check documentation, ask our peers, and investigate ourselves how we can find a solution to our problem. The next one is: guy in my sophomore calculus class overslept and woke up 10 minutes before the main exam for that course, and in his hurry forgot to take his textbook to the exam. It was an open book exam. It was an annoyingly difficult exam, even for those of us who did have our textbooks with us. He ended up deriving all the required stuff on the fly during the exam and still scored among the highest in class. This one connects with the one we saw before, because it's also an example of a guy that was able to think on the fly and base himself on logical thinking to be able to figure out the answers to the exam. And the third one is: in college, he would tutor anyone in anything for free. He just liked helping people and believed learning should be accessible to anyone who wants it. That's great and all, but it wasn't until I found out he was not a transfer student like everyone assumed. He was a freshman tutoring students of all years in classes he hadn't taken, some he'd never take. When asked about it, he said that if he didn't know a subject already, he'd just have the student bring their textbook and go through it with them, and learn it and explain it to them in a simpler and more intuitive way as they went, and they never had any idea he didn't already know it. He wasn't hiding. He'd tell anyone who asked. He just didn't brag about it. His ability to learn and understand things was just on another level. I think this one is also related because it's some guy that just had a different way of studying, that he was able to pass knowledge in a different way. He figured out an easy, understandable method to get to the point of the subjects and was passing that knowledge along. So what he was offering was not really tutoring. It was more a method to study that specific subject. On to the next one. What are the best examples of he didn't know it was impossible, so he did it in history? Emil Satopek, after winning the 5,000 meter and 10,000 meter races in the Olympics, decided to run the marathon, a distance he had never run before. He was running with the world record holder and asked if they were going to the right place. He told him, "No, we're going too slow." Emil sped up and set the Olympics record, completing the sweep of long distance races in 1952 Olympics. I don't really have anything else to add. That's just impressive. It's just a case of basically the question, right? He was unaware of what he had to do, and nobody told him, "You can't do this, you haven't trained for this." He just was like, "Okay, I need to do this, and I'm going to do it." Okay, finally, for our last one: what hobby attracts the worst type of people? The first answer is beauty pageants, 1,000%. Actually, the sub-comment is child beauty pageants. Yeah, making the children be vain, it's even worse, right? They also promote a very unhealthy relationship between people. It seems like a very cutthroat environment for children and everyone related to them. The next one is: as someone currently in South Florida, there is no shortage of douchebags on boats. I personally haven't had any experience with people on boats, so I'm not sure about this one, but there are a lot of people on the comments agreeing. One of them says, boat people either wave at you like neighbors or commit maritime road rage. And that basically tells me everything I need to know. The road ragers are the worst kind of people, and it seems like these are just road ragers but for boats. Another one is airsoft. It's either the most down to earth guy you've ever met or some absolute specimen like if you mix a League of Legends nerd with a gangbanger. That's certainly a colorful way to put it. And it doesn't sound like a good experience to meet someone that plays airsoft. Or maybe you can get the first type. That would be nice. And a lot of people are also agreeing with this. One sub comment says, had to scroll way too far for this. But yeah, airsoft. Like many interests mentioned here, it's really a handful that spoil it for the rest. But boy, oh boy, do they spoil it. The fourth is, as a horse girl, most things related to horses. And the fifth one is Pokemon lately on the rise of some real scummy people. This one I do know a little bit about. I actually made another video regarding the scalper situation currently happening. And yeah, it's getting pretty bad for Pokemon. There's a lot of scalpers and a lot of violence related to scalping. So people that actually enjoy the hobby are not having a good time. And the honorable mention is the next one. A lot of video game subs on Reddit. People ask questions about a game and people that are true fans have nothing but disdain and contempt for them not knowing the answer already. I follow a bit of subs that are related to games and I can see this happening. Most of the time are just answers about like, why don't you Google this or something instead of giving an actual answer. And most of the people that go to those subreddits, I can include myself in this, are trying to connect with people that are interested in the game and have people to talk about the game with, because sometimes our friends don't usually align with the same interests we have. For example, I'm really into Minecraft and other games, and some of my friends are interested in other different kinds of games, right? So it's nice to go to the subreddit and try to get a conversation with someone about the interest you have. But yeah, those are the top threads of this week, and I wanted to mention those. Let me know if you guys have any other answers to those specific hobbies and intelligent people examples you want to mention as well. Bye.